Namaskar and Namaste and welcome to Star Darbar. There is nothing more to say about the personality right next to me, and you all know him, a very sweet person, very humble artist, and the name is Omi Vaidya. Why are you saying it right? Absolutely, you are so humble.
So humble.
So
the
down to
humblest.
earth.
The humblest.
Yes.
So down I'm underground.
Okay.
That's how down to earth I am.
Seriously? Okay, all right. We got that point. But my viewers, do you want to hear the story, the real story of Omi Vaidya? How about that?
That's
Where
not a
should we
family
start?
story. What?
Yeah,
Oh,
where should we start?
I don't know. Whatever you'd like to know.
Right? Okay, let us just go back maybe 20 years, maybe.
20 years. Okay.
All right, maybe 30 years.
30 years? Am I that old? Oh,
Okay,
wow.
all right, okay. So how you started, why acting?
Why acting? I was just not that excited about anything else. I was very good at biology and studies. I have a very good short-term memory, so I could do really good tests and all that. But life is about being what you're excited about. So I enjoyed getting a rise out of people. I liked making them react and having fun with them. So performing was very fun for me, and it was relaxing, and it allowed me to be something that I wasn't maybe, or a more enlarged version of myself. And then also, I was an Indian boy in America, in rural America, so only white people. So I sort of stuck out, and not for the good reasons. I was short, I was made fun of a lot. So I was able to use my comedy and my performance to really spotlight myself, and I enjoyed it. And I was also supported very well by my family. They put me in special performance high school.
Okay.
I went to NYU for film school. I was able to grow and become better, and I didn't have to worry about like money and how am I going to pay the rent for a little while. And I still struggled a lot, and had a lot of moments of, is this good for me, is this right for me? But just luck happened to come my way a couple of times, and I was able to use it, and that's how it happened.
How you really decided that is it good for me or is it bad for me?
I always keep deciding that every day, to be honest. It never ends. Life is constantly throwing challenges at you, and you have to, you're not just defined by something that you did years ago. You're able to change who you are constantly if you want. So I'm always self-aware. I'm always mindful of who I am and whether this is important. Yeah, this brings a lot of joy to a lot of people. It's very hard work, but is it the best use of my time? You always have to think about that. And not only about you, it's about people all around you. So my family, and the community and population at large.
Yeah.
So I always think about that,
How was you starting in Bollywood? Like when you got your first chance, I can say that, and how you got chosen there?
Yeah, it was the Three Idiots, that movie. I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you heard of that film?
Oh my God,
It's a very...
I've seen it so many times. Of course it
It's a
is.
small independent film. I don't,
Yeah.
no name actors except me, of course.
Okay, I love that part.
It was actually just serendipitous, which means, I happened to, just like you fall into a hole, and that's sort of how it happens. You just accidentally stumble upon it. I was acting. I wasn't like an IT or an engineer. I was acting in Hollywood, but I was sort of struggling to find good roles. I was getting popular and people were seeing me, but it wasn't giving me much satisfaction.
Okay.
And then I went to India. I'd written a couple of scripts, and somebody happened to say, you should audition for this film. I was not at all interested in auditioning because I don't speak Hindi very well, and I had watched 4 Hindi films at that point.
But how you said all those, like, the dialogues over there, right? So
Well, I speak Marathi, so I could kind of understand what I was saying. It was like learning a different language, and they also said, don't anyone tell him how to pronounce it correctly. Let him organically say it based on the script. So, when you read the word Hasunga, there's actually Hansoonga. There's an N there, and you're supposed to say Hasunga. There's a little But when you read it and you've never heard that word, you would say Hansunga. I would say that because my only frame of reference is the letters. So I would say Hansunga, and I know what it meant, but I didn't know that it was a mispronunciation. So those types of things, those happy accidents that happen, they enabled that to happen, and they had written the character in a way where he didn't have to know the accent and the language properly to communicate, and it was part of his identity. So they actually played to my strengths, which are terrible Hindi.
Right.
And because of that, and because he's a great actor, a great script, good actors, everything, that, it was just it had everything,
As an actor, right? So how you guys follow the dialogues? Like, do you have to remember it,
Yeah.
memorize it?
Well, I didn't know the language, so I really had to learn every word by heart. So there's
So how long it to memorize it by heart, right? So how long it took you?
thousands of times you have to learn the language, right? So some people can just speak, and they, like Irfan Khan doesn't learn his lines, and he will say some of the lines sometimes he'll say some other lines, whatever he thinks like.
Okay.
And that's nice. But because I don't know the language, I have to learn every word as if it was Chinese. I have to learn it. And then I have to learn it like I say ha, hu, hum, and then I have to say that means this. So I have to take these random sounds and I have to remember them, and then after I've remembered them, then I have to put emphasis or sort of, that means I'm angry. So then I have to put an emotion. So it's very difficult for me. I think there was a scene where I described what a machine is, the definition of a machine. It was in English, thank God. No, actually it was in Hindi or what? No, it was in English. But that was maybe a 60-second Amish, almost like a dictionary I had to learn. So that took me about 3 days, 8 hours a day, just repeating it constantly, where that you could wake me up in the middle of the night and I'm groggy and you say, go, and I would say it word by word without one mistake, because that's how the character would have known that language. He would have memorized it that way, so I had to be as good as him, and that's just part of your track.
Was there any help there?
No, they specifically said that they don't want anyone to help me, because then they'll teach me the right way of saying something or not. And I was learning Hindi at the time, and the director said, stop, somebody's teaching you Hindi, don't learn anymore, because some of the masala, some of the fun of this character is that he doesn't. And by the end of the script, they had stopped writing some of the Hindi. They were just writing it in English. They were saying, say this in Hindi, and then I would translate it, and my translation was so bad that they would say, wow, that's better than we could ever write. So then they would write down, or I would say a mistake was like tofu kabul karo. It's supposed to be tofa kabul. The script had said tofa kabul karo, but in one take I happened to say tofu kabul karo, and then the director said, oh, that's much funnier than what tofa is. So that they put, or kya hui, I say kya hui, but that was just an accident because this is not a language I know. So they said, oh, that's much better than kya hua. Don't say kya hua. Don't say what's in the script. Say what you just said. So that they were very accepting of the mistakes, and that's really, a good director. He knows to take everybody's contribution. He casts certain people and then he lets them be. He spent I think they said, I don't know, they auditioned 1,000 people for that role.
Right.
But once they got Madhavan and Sharman and Amir and me, I mean, we did a lot of rehearsal, but after that he just let them do what they do, because he was so confident that they would do their job.
Right.
So you just get very good people and then you let them do what they do. So that's sort of what he did, and that's why he was so calm on set for the most part. And it's not like when I direct a short film or something, I'm I'm sweating, I'm angry, I'm mean, because I'm so insecure and so not confident with all of the things that are going on, and I need to control everything. But this is a man that has so much experience, and he knows what he's going to get.
what is your experience like doing direction? Because you are even teaching acting, right? So
I've taught acting.
yes,
before.
exactly. Because now you are not only an actor, you are showing path to others.
Yeah.
So what do you think the best quality an actor should have?
They got to be really open-minded, you know? You have to be really open. There's a reason that most actors are quite liberal, you know, with their social and like, because they, you have to be open to new ideas and new types of people, because typically you're not going to act the same person every time. You're going to act like somebody you're not. If you're a good actor, that means that you have to be open to the idea that, you know, that their life is justified, whether they're a murderer or they're chatur. Like another actor who played chatur may have just played it as a caricature.
Right, right.
You know, but I really saw that this was a guy who really thought that this was a valuable way of living, and he thought this was the right way of living, and that's okay that he thought that. And because I played it very seriously, I think a lot of people related to it.
That character is amazing and played by you for the first time, as you were explaining, but that was your first break in Bollywood. So before Chatur and after Chatur, we really don't see you in a lot of movies, but we see you in a very limited way. And I'm happy that you are choosing your movies.
Yeah.
You know that what to do, but
why?
why?
Yeah, you know, after Three Idiots, before Three Idiots, I was really like, when am I going to get to the next step? When am I going to get recognized? And then I got that, and I saw that it was fun, but it wasn't the life that I really wanted. I really didn't want to schmooze with celebrities and go to premieres and live in hotel rooms and do that lifestyle. That wasn't really how I was brought up, and it wasn't really what I valued in life. I valued relationships and more than performing. Really, it was really performing I liked, not the celebrityism and the award shows and all that stuff. So I really liked connecting with people, and it goes back to why I started acting. I started acting because I liked watching people react. So, you know, when you're a big shot celebrity, you have to live in a bubble around other celebrities. You stay at home much, you can't go out much. So I knew that this life wasn't something that I could sustain, and it wasn't something I wanted to chase, you know. So I just keep doing what I think is right. I listen to myself. The reason I got into this, even though, you know, my father is a doctor, my brother is a doctor, everyone around me is either IT engineers or computer scientists. The reason I got into it because I just listened to what I thought was right, and I have to continue doing that, even though it may not be what people expect.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. I love this part, the way you explain that the family and the relation. And the
let me tell you, when you die, you're not going to remember, you're not going to think, oh, I made that big movie, or, you know, oh, you're going to think like, who are the people around me that I loved, and what are the experiences that I had, you know? Am I going to remember hanging out and playing Scrabble with Amir Khan? Maybe. But will I really remember the birth of my daughter, or how I miss, you know, when she was small? Those things are really going to stick with me. And those are things that everybody feels, you know. Those are the things that matter.
Yes, yes. And with this note, I would love to ask you that your very special and favorite moment.
In when?
Anytime.
I don't know.
Tell us.
A very special moment?
Yeah. Favorite moment.
I don't know, I think definitely, like, you know, you're not a father one day and then the next day you're a father, or you're single and looking for love, and then the next day you found someone who you think is. Those moments are very exciting in life. They're very few. Yeah, you know, like Three Idiots was fun, but it doesn't compare.
I love that. We really love the Omi, and my viewers, you can see that, as I told you earlier, that a true artist, very humble, really down to earth. I mean, he's not going anywhere. But
Down.
seriously, it was fantastic meeting you again, and talking about your life journey is quite a thriller for others, because they want to know the real person who is Omi Vaidya, because everybody outside is more like the person from the tinsel town with lots of glamour, this, that, and acting and movies and drama and all those. But the real Omi Vaidya, who thinks so clearly about his vision, and that's why we really love you.
Thank you.
So we spoke about your favorite moment, and you described it so well. Now tell us that seriously, you are in direction, you are in acting. So who is your favorite director?
I mean, they're not really Indian people, because I grew up
That's
here.
fine.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been so long. I don't remember. Like, you know, you make all these lists when you're in college and stuff, when you have time to watch movies and when you have time to go to the theater. Now I think I watch a movie or two every year in the theater, you know? It's like...
But whose movie you really love to watch or go?
I mean, like an actor, like I really, you know, I'm a comedic actor, but I really like Daniel Day-Lewis, or comedic actor, I like Gene Wilder, but people don't know who that is. I mean, he's from the 70s and 80s. You know, these weird types of people who blend comedy and drama, you know, just odd characters, and I'm an odd character myself, so it fits with who I am. You know?
I think you are odd, that's why you are fitting into everywhere, because that is why people liking you, loving you. So many episodes in Netflix of The Brown Nation, and as well as your recently that's running, and that is Metro Park.
Yeah.
So how about those episodes? I mean, you are a person in a movie, in the film. Usually people really don't stretch their acting career once they are into the Bollywood movies or that league. They never stretch out to all these things. So what made you act in these things as well?
Oh, you know, I always just look for a challenge, you know, so something that's very different than how I am. Yeah, I'll be the director of Metro Park. He had a very unique character, very different but similar to what I was playing, but really over the top and very funny. So, and it was very dumb, like a very dumb character, and I've always wanted to play a very dumb character. So that was very nice. And then you know, there was something nice about Metro Park. This father he's going to be a father, and I had just experienced that, so I knew that character very well. And you know, there was just something about Abhi's projects. They're very independent, and they feel like you're a part of a family. And everybody he brings on is very excited. You know, when I do these Bollywood movies, the people that do them, they don't really have a passion for them. Most of the time, they're there for the business and the money, and you know, it's a risk analysis. You know, so many people are involved, so many chefs in the kitchen making your meal, and the authenticity goes away. So it's really these smaller projects where you feel alive, you know, and you feel like you're making something different and something that's never, and a lot of the time it fails. Most of the time it fails, but just the chance to do something different, not the same, because the same you can do, you know, if you're going to do the same thing every day, might as well just go to be a IT specialist or a computer scientist, get a nice pension and a nice 401k. But if you're really going to go out there and do something different, then you really should, it should be very meaningful. It should risk a lot. The chance of failure should be high. That's when you feel like you're alive, you know? Otherwise, it's not worth it. So yeah, I really look for things that are different. I wish I got to do more different stuff, but at the same time, I'm very happy spending time with my family, and my kids are so small, so I really like to, I want to be there for them.
So this was the smallest glimpse who is the real Omi Vaidya, and I do hope that you all loved it, and want to see you again next week, same time and same day, and keep watching Star Darbar and bless us with your love and care. Thank you so much for watching Star Darbar only on Mana TV International.